Art of Relationships radio show is copyrighted. No one is to use any part of the show without express written consent from myself, Greg Didnt, or the Art of Relationships. Thank you.
Welcome to the Art of Relationships radio show. Greg welcomes live calls from listeners in helping with numerous marital and relationship problems. There will be no more tit-for-tat arguments. Greg gets to the root of couples' challenges in a rapid, matter-of-fact format, plus applies compassion and humor. Join in discovering how to improve your relationship and your own life. Listen, laugh, and climax. Greg is a licensed professional counselor in the state of Michigan. To others, he's simply known as Detroit's Love Guru.
Welcome, everybody. Happy, I think it's Tuesday afternoon here now in the Metro Detroit area. I'm your host, Greg Didnt, Detroit's Love Guru. I'm a fully licensed professional counselor, relationship, and sex specialist. Oh, baby! Hopefully everybody's doing okay. Excuse me. Welcome to the Art of Relationships radio show. Tonight, we're going to have maybe a little bit of fun, and as always, I want to provide a lot of insight to you to enhance your own life, to enhance your love life, enhance your relationship or marriages, and help you have the relationship you've always craved. You know what? Nothing is perfect. You know what? I think a lot of people have this idealistic unicorn ideation, if you will, of what a relationship is, what marriage is, and it does take work, people, but you can be happy. You can be a lot happier more times than not, and that's what I try to do to help you propel and reach for those goals and helping you succeed to have a great relationship. Okay, today's topic, we're going to talk about the feeling of sex. Now, a lot of people are going to get all horny. They're going to get, freaking all aroused and all this stuff. And the feeling of sex might surprise you, okay? Greg, you know the feeling of sex. Yes. We're going to go deeper than that. No pun intended, okay? Why did I say that? I don't know. It's just me being a smart ass as always. Anyways, we're looking at the feeling of sex. And we're going to talk about a lot of people feel different things about sex. I want to know about what you want to feel during sex. There's some people, I want my toes to curl. Yeah, who doesn't, right? I'm right here. I want to feel, the energy. I want to feel the passion. I want to feel the soulfulness. And during sex, a lot of people might, they just focus maybe on the physical pleasure, and they sort of miss out on the emotional, the soulful aspect of sex. Some people dissociate from sex. They're just going through the motion to do their wifely or maybe their husbandly duties, which is sad. I never, ever, ever will promote that, and I don't want people to be in that situation. I want you to be able to feel in love and feel, have fun during sex, and also, have that soulful connection that you've maybe wanted during sex. A lot of people, like I mentioned, dissociate because they're afraid to enjoy sex because of religious beliefs, because of cultural beliefs. That aspect, even there's still gender maybe issues out there, gender challenges that you're supposed to always please the man. Forget that. I'm all about pleasing the woman as well. Yeah, I want to be pleased, but I'm always about pleasing my lady as well. So, going on the feeling of sex. What do you want to feel in that situation? And, during sex, I want to know, these are some questions I want you to ask yourself, okay? What do you feel during sex? You know what? Do you allow yourself to feel anything? Some people even, they sort of ignore, or maybe they don't want to feel the physical pleasure of sex because they're going to feel guilty. They're going to feel selfish. They're going to sort of shut down because maybe they're going to feel it's dirty, it's not right. I'm all about, feeling the physical pleasure of sex, but I want you to go a little bit, more in depth on this issue, and I want you to look at what does it take for you to look at, what do you want to feel from sex? What do you feel while you're having sex? Hey, Cynthia, hey! Listening while at work. Cool. Like I said, hopefully, you share this on your timeline and be, get a chance to win my book, The Relationship Guide, Tools to Ignite Love and Intimacy. And I'll show that in a little bit, okay? And now, looking at, what do you want to feel during sex? I want to know, what do you want to feel, of course, physically? What do you want to feel emotionally and soulfully during sex, okay? You know what? Where do you want to go sexually? Where do you want to go with your feelings and emotions of sexual intercourse, okay? And a lot of people assume, sex, it's all about doing it, all about penetration, all about the intercourse act. Sex is more than that, okay? Sex is about your confidence level. It's about your partner's confidence level. It's about the emotional connection. It could be, foreplay can be part of sex, absolutely. But also, can it be about embracing each other, looking at each other in your eyes, that type of thing, caressing, holding each other. So sex is not just, put it in and that's it, about the intercourse aspect. Yes, it can be about oral sex. It can be about all those aspects. And I want you to challenge, your thoughts, your, maybe ideation of sex, and what do you want to feel during sex? What do you want to feel physically? What do you want to feel emotionally? Some people, especially if they've been abused or, rape survivors, that they look at, they don't want to feel anything. They dissociate, during sex. You know what? They might not feel anything emotionally. They don't want to feel really anything physical because it makes them feel a certain way. It might trigger, the events of the abuse or the rape, sadly. And I've worked with countless people in those situations to try to help that and help them enjoy and want sex and have the power over sex and what that means for them too, okay? Now, during sex, what does connecting mean to you? Ask yourself this again. What does connecting mean to you? Is it just the body, the physical connection, or is it the heart and the soul during sex? Do you want to feel each other breathe? Do you want to feel each other sort of heartbeat? And when was the last time you actually felt each other's heartbeat while you're having sex? Some people are intimidated by that. Some people can't handle that. They don't have the emotional, they don't have the sexual maturity to be able to do that because it might freak them out. It might scare them, because what happens if you lose yourself during sex? And I'm not talking about the dissociation, losing yourself like I mentioned earlier. I'm talking about losing yourself, mentally, physically, soulfully, during sex. All those aspects where you can give of yourself and also please your partner on all those levels. And what are those areas that are hitting you that are maybe not, not getting it for you? Is it because of the emotional connection? Is it because of your own, insecurities with you? And I talked about the men's insecurities yesterday. And, maybe it's because your body image aspect that you can't fully enjoy sex because you're always, holding back. You're always worried about certain things. You're always worried about body image aspects. You're worried about, the bills, the kids, household, work, all those aspects, which is sad, where I want you to be able to focus on, connecting during sex, physically and emotionally, all those elements, okay? And I know it's not easy, because everything gets in our mind. But what do you do? What do you use sex for? And what is your meaning about sex and the feeling of sex from your head to your toe and from your heart and your soul? And what does that, what do you want to feel? I want to hear that. People, you can give me a call, 313-614-9498. And you can also join the discussion below, because I want to know what you want to feel like. I want to know what you want to feel during sex. And a lot of people, Greg, you're crazy. You know what I want to feel during sex. It's a physical pleasure. And this comes from women and men. And a lot of men, believe it or not, will feel, they want to feel that emotional connection. But sometimes they are too afraid to go there. They're afraid to be connected on an emotional level and a soulful level during sex. So it's just about the physical aspects. Also, how many people out there, when you get the element of sex and, the feeling of sex, how many people out there are very goal-driven? You know what? The goal is to make your partner come, or for you to come and orgasm. And sort of that's it. That's all there's into it. You know what? You're goal driven, and that's it. You forget about the emotional aspects. You forget maybe about taking your time and the sensuality of sex and feeling those elements. And that's where I want you to be able to look at, you know what, where it's going to take you, and where do you want to go with the feelings of sex? What do you want to feel? And you know what? And these are one of those things you need to identify within yourself, number one, okay? And what is holding you back from sharing with your partner about how you want to feel, so you can enhance your sex life, so you both have an understanding of what each other wants to feel during sex and what it means to you to feel that certain way. Does it make you feel more fulfilled? Believe it or not, some people are afraid to feel fulfilled during sex on all those levels, because they're going to feel like they're going to give up their power, okay? My partner or person, whatever, they're going to have this magical power over me. No. You're going to allow yourself to maintain the power within you and still allow yourself and allow your partner to feel phenomenal on the emotional level, the spiritual level, or soulful level, and also, you know what, the physical pleasure. You know what? Some people are, you know, when they get into the goal-driven aspect, they're not worried about how their partner feels. You know what? I'm going to make them come, and that's it. Oh, you didn't. Good thing you didn't see that. I did a little finger gesture, and that was probably inappropriate. Good thing you didn't see that. And looking, you know, on those aspects, they're very goal-driven. Oh, I'm just going to get my husband or my boyfriend off, and that's it. Just give him, you know, a BJ, or, you know, make him come, and that means he's satisfied. Not necessarily, right? The physical pleasure could be, you know what, maybe not as great as it could be, because you're not emotionally connected, because you are too goal-driven during sex, and you feel like, I got to be so goal-driven during sex because that makes me, you know, man enough, it makes me woman enough, it makes me great sexually because I got him off, I got her off. And you're missing everything else that goes into the feeling of sex. You're missing the emotional connection, the heart-to-heart, the soulful connection about sex. And, you know, I bring this up often, a lot, about, you know, being able to look at each other during sex. And it's still ironic. Here it's 2018, and a lot of people, a lot of clients I have, still have an issue. They still have a hard time, you know, one of them or both of them have a hard time, you know, with the eye-to-eye contact during sex, because they're afraid of the physical aspects of it. No, not at all. They're maybe afraid or intimidated about the emotional connection that you can get with the eye-to-eye contact, or just feeling each other's heartbeat during sex, and what that represents to you. And a lot of people, you know, I get this, Greg, that sort of makes me feel weird. It makes me feel uncomfortable. I get it, with your eyes open during sex, and the feelings, you know, it sort of brings out in people. It brings out people's insecurities. It brings out the feeling of feeling lost, or, you know, powerless. That's the idea. I want you to be okay letting go, and being okay having that deep connection. And the fear is maybe, you know what, that you don't want to get hurt and get crushed from your partner, you know, feeling that they don't love you or whatever, that you're not lovable. So people keep it very goal-driven. They keep sex very physical, and they ignore the emotional aspects because it's safer, right? I don't want people to be scared. I don't want people to be afraid of that connection. I want you to go after it, because you're going to feel more fulfilled. Not only is it going to make you feel a lot more connected sexually, which this topic is, it's also going to relate to your relationship and marriage outside the sexual realm. You're going to feel safer with each other emotionally. You're going to be able to talk about anything, you know, that's going on with the relationship. If there's an issue, if there's a challenge or something going on that you don't like, you're going to feel a lot more freer to bring it up, okay, and not have that fear, oh, I can't bring this up because what's it going to represent to me? And, you know, with sex, a lot of people think, oh, I'm great sexually, I'm great, all this stuff. You know, I got the physical mechanics down. But I'm challenging you. How are you on your emotional skills during sex? How are you on your soulful repertoire about connecting during sex? Are you great? Maybe you need a little bit of work. And again, you know, I got women out there, oh, Greg, you're talking to me. I get you. But, everyone assumes it's, men that have a hard time doing this. I'm telling you, no. There's a lot of women out there, and maybe it's you out there too, that is having a hard time connecting and allowing yourself to feel connected during sex on the emotional level. And it's not just the physical elements, okay? It's very intimidating, but I want you, number one, to want to feel that way, and then to go after it, okay? It's one of those things, if you love or give something half-ass and you expect the full, fulfilling results of that, they're not going to happen. So you need to be able to let yourself go and, sort of evolve what you want to feel during sex, and also what your partner does. It's very important, but if your partner is unwilling to share those things with you, you're at a loss. And I'm all about, what can I do to be safe, make it safe enough for your partner to be able to talk and open up about anything. But then it's left up to them to be able to do that, okay? And if they don't, you will never ever reach that full potential and the feelings you want to feel during sex, because you have no clue what your partner wants and what your partner wants to feel, what they're scared of, because they're not opening up with you. So you're left at a plateau with the sexual aspects. And I'm not talking, of course, just the physical elements. I told you, the feelings of sex and sexual, they involve the emotional connection, the soulful connection, maybe the mental connection as well, and of course the physical connection, and wanting you to have all those. And you're going to be left, if you're not willing to open up and share those aspects, you're going to be left at a plateau level, and you'll never have the depth, the deep connection that you've always wanted, because you're scared of it. You're either scared of it, you're afraid to go after it, and then you're wondering what's going to happen. And when sex sort of becomes maybe monotonous, it becomes boring, you feel like it's just routine, and it's not, you're not getting the physical pleasure of it, or you're looking at the emotional, the soulful pleasures that you want from sex, because your partner isn't dialed in. You need to clue each other in, and if you don't, unfortunately, that is on you. I'm all about, me, whatever, as a partner, and partners looking at what can I do to make it safe enough for you to be able to talk to me and open up and feel fully expressive, during sex, emotionally, soulfully, mentally, all those elements, okay? It's important, and I want you to be able to evolve your marriage, evolve your relationship. And a lot of times, everyone talks about the sex, the physical pleasure. When I bring it up, oh yeah, sex is great, and I'll challenge them, right? I'm a jerk. I'll challenge my clients in my office, or people in general. Really, sex is great. What's great about it? Okay. Oh yeah, it curls my toes, whatever. I said, do you guys ever, I'll ask, do you look at each other in the eyes? Do you feel each other's heartbeat? Do you feel each other breathe during sex? And they look at me like they're confused. And I said, I thought you said sex was phenomenal. It might be at one level, but could it be phenomenal at a lot of levels, at all levels? Again, you know what? Nothing is perfect. You're going to have times where, oh, God, that sucked, and laugh about it, Sexual performance, it could have been just a bad experience. We all have them, right? Even me. And you look at those, where you can sort of just laugh about it and Joe, yeah, it happened, whatever, and go about and realize that's not the entity of your sex life and connecting that way. It's just, one of those things that happen, and you don't want it to turn into your whole sex life, okay? One maybe poor event or sexual experience doesn't have to equal your whole sex life as a couple. Hell no, not at all. You know what? Most people have been there. I've been there, where you can, sort of go through that and blow it off. It's no big deal, and be able to look at, it's going to be better. We're going to feel more connected on all those levels, the physical, the mental, the soulful, and maybe the intellectual aspect, and that's sort of the mental aspect of it. And feeling emotionally safe and secure talking about sex in your relationship, okay? So, I'm going to rehash after this. Let me see. Okay. Share this video or any of my videos on your timeline. I'm very, very flattered and appreciate. I want to help as many people as I can, okay? And you'll get a chance to win my book, The Relationship Guide, Tools to Ignite Love and Intimacy. right there. My website is theartofrelationships.org. And, before I let everybody go, again, the feelings of sex. What do you want to feel? And what is getting in the way of you feeling, fully evolved during sex and fully engaged during sex on, the physical level, the emotional level, the heart and soul connection that you want to feel during sex? What is preventing you from feeling those aspects? Is it afraid of being hurt? Being ridiculed? You know what? Look at those aspects and be real with each other. Be real with your partners, okay? I don't want people to hold back what they're feeling in relationships, because when you hold back, and especially when it comes to sexuality and feelings during sex, you know what? It can ruin your relationship or marriage, okay? I don't want that for you. I want you to be, more integrated on all those levels, more integrated on a soulful level, and where you love each other more and you feel it from each other, okay? Again, nothing is perfect, but you're going to feel more depth to both of you in your relationship, and you're going to feel more connected. And yes, and sex is, a big part of that, okay? Again, I'm going to reiterate and sort of, talk like a broken record, but it's so important, people, okay? What do you want to feel during sex on the emotional levels, the mental levels, the soulful levels, and the physical levels? What do you want to feel, and what is holding you back from going after those things, okay? Peace, love, happy Tuesday, people. I'll be here tomorrow, noon. Again, the Art of Relationships radio show is live Monday through Friday, 12 noon Eastern Time. You can also listen to the audio version on iHeartRadio, TuneIn, SoundCloud, Spreaker as well. So, take care, people. Bye-bye.